Yeah, I watched a lot of movies, and this one was very good. Very good. Oh my God, so good. So good that I am going to talk spoilers in this one. Um, The Last Duel. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I should have watched the movie a second time. However, I think I remember a pretty good amount of it to be able to talk to you about it today on this review. So, welcome to another episode on Spliff Talk. So, The Last Duel. Man, so many famous people in this movie doing an amazing job. And it made me miss, yo. It made me miss watching Matt Damon and Ben Affleck in like these gritty medieval movies. Not that I really seen, I think I've seen Matt Damon more in these type of like gritty action, ancient history type of movies, some fictional. But you remember Dogma, where Matt Damon and Ben Affleck played angels who like killed each other, tried to kill each other, Gabriel and Michael, I think. Yeah. That movie was really good. So when I saw that they were in this movie, and then I saw that the actor, his name slips my mind because I smoked too much. The guy who plays Kylo Ren. Sorry, you're gonna be Kylo Ren for like a while because that's the first time I've ever really seen you, and you did Kylo Ren so well. So it's like you're Kylo Ren to me, man. You're like tall, black hair, the dark side, and you show your true colors in this movie. But yeah, and then who else? You had Koskas. Uh, you know what I'm talking about. I know his last name, Koskas. I just don't remember his first name. Starts with an M. But he has that nice accent. He's played good guys and bad guys, and he's so good too. And I'm glad that he was there as a supporting actor for Matt Damon's character. But the two main focus actors in this movie are Matt Damon and Kylo Ren. Sorry again for saying Kylo Ren, you know. But um, I think I know the story. I just don't remember from where I learned the story from. But this is a story about Jacques the Gris, played by Kylo Ren, and Jean Debrun, I think. Jean Congers, or I don't know how to say his fucking name. Uh, Matt Damon's character, and how they have a last duel, you know, to the death, which hasn't been performed in years, even though it's still part of their laws in Paris, in France. And basically, there are two soldiers who fight for the king. However, Matt Damon's character is portrayed throughout the story as generally a man of honor, a man who believes in honor so strictly that he sometimes can come off a little bit sexist, um, vain and egotistical. It seems like he is so war beaten down by all the violence and the lack of acknowledgement for his duties that he kind of becomes this bitter man of honor. You know what I'm saying? And on the other hand, you have his comrade in arms, or you know, they started off as friends, comrades in arms, who is, you know, he's more better looking, more handsome. He's portrayed as the more handsome one because Matt Damon's character is scarred. You know, he's a little rough around the edges. You know, he's a war hero. And he has the marks to prove it. Whereas his friend, Jacques de Gris, is more known, is, you know, he's not as much of a war beaten soldier, because after the initial battle that they showed in the beginning of the movie, um, he decides to be more of a noble, you know, a noble working for a noble, and that's what he aims for. And he's gotten everything that he's earned just by exploiting people in the name of the noble of the whole town, you know. So like this whole movie is like crazy because basically the duel, it resembles back then in Christian times, very Christian times. It was basically, they believed that if you denied charges that were claimed against you, like murder or whatever, and or rape, for example, which is the premise of this movie. If you deny and there's no other way to prove you guilty, the other person could challenge you to a battle to the death, to let God be the one to decide who's right and who's wrong. Meaning, like, if you kill him, then it proves that God was on your side and you were the honest and honorable one, right? And so there's a lot of virtues and principles thrown in this movie that play into the mentalities of these characters, which I find very interesting. And it shows three perspectives. It shows Matt Damon's character's perspective of the events, and then it shows Kylo Ren's, Jacques de Gris' perspective of the events, and then it shows Matt Damon's character's wife, who's the one that gets raped by Jacques de Gris, her perspective of all the situations. And especially, and I loved her perspective the most because it shows in this movie, it also portrays in this movie how back then men's need for power and dominance and entitlement cloud their judgment and their perspective, whereas women who were treated less, they get to really see how things really were. So I liked seeing Marguerite's perspective because she shows how those two characters really are in person versus how they talk about themselves. So it was very interesting, and I really loved the acting in this movie. Like watching Ben Affleck play Pierre and have this dark but whimsical, but at the same time, like, he's kind of like an asshole, nobleman, feel good about himself. Like, it was nice to see that side of him in acting. Same thing for Matt Damon, that side of his acting, and watching Kylo Ren. Like, it was really good. Really, 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 really good. I say and I love medieval knight. I love medieval stories, ancient history stories, stories like this. That are about honor, virtue. That are about how women and women empowerment in a way, in the struggle that women go through, the way that men were. Like, I like learning from these type of movies. So all in all, when it comes to this movie, um, I would have to give it, because I've seen a lot of them, and this movie was good. Um, so I'll give it a 4.2. 4.2. I would definitely watch it again. Um, just for the simple fact of watching Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Kylo Ren all act again. Like, it was just such an amazing performance. Like watching a beautiful play, honestly. And yeah. So that's my review for it. But I do want to speak a little spoilers, so I suggest you get off my screen right now. Spoilers. So, who do I believe when it comes to this movie? Kind of hard, you know. Matt Damon's perspectives, character, that threw me off a bit because I thought the guy was actually really nice, but it turns out that he's not. He's kind of like an asshole, but he's also respectable because when you see Marguerite's perspective in this movie is the most important. It's definitely the most important because she shows that Matt Damon's character, though he is rough around the edges and an asshole, he honors her because he respects in a way, he kind of respects more than most that she is her own person, right? Because he backs her. Because when they do this trial back then, if a woman, like, the crazy part of me is how the Christian church, I cannot believe that the Christian church honestly believed that a woman cannot get pregnant unless she had an orgasm. Are you fucking kidding me? That's how you dealt with rape for centuries? You made people believe that if you got pregnant, that means you fucking enjoyed it? It doesn't matter if it was forced? You fucking disgust me. Catholic Church. Because, honestly, there's so much shit that I know about your beliefs. We don't even want to get into it right now. We're just going to stick to the topics of this movie. But the fact that she was willing to submit herself to a lose-lose situation, a possible lose-lose situation, just to prove that she was telling the fucking truth, I believed her off the fucking bat, bro. I believed her off the bat that she got raped. I definitely believe that she got raped. Now, when I saw Jacques Degree's perspective, you could kind of tell, I don't know, I could tell that he was a little full of himself. Before Marguerite ever even said it, because her perspective was last. I even saw that he was kind of full of himself because in everything, when it was his perspective, he was speaking like, he portrayed everything so romantically about himself, the way that he felt about Marguerite, you know, but you saw how he was when he was with women in the orgy session. You could kind of feel this kind of like sense of entitlement, you know. And whatchamacallit, when it came to Matt Damon's character, though his was the most exaggerated because, in a way, only because he wasn't so nice to his wife. That part was the most exaggerated. He wasn't so nice to his wife. But in terms of his character, when you actually see the perspective of like the argument when he confronts them, I feel like you can tell from his story he's only full of himself when it comes to his wife and things that he does in the name of his wife. However, when he's talking about himself, he's generally more humble. Not much, but still, you can detect those little cues when you're investigating who's telling the truth and who's not. And they had more to lose because if he died, if Joe the Grease got lucky, like when he got him in, I thought he got him in the groin, bro. I thought that nigga was gonna bleed out in that fight. Oh man, I thought he lost his penis. But no, he didn't get lucky. But if he did, that's it. She gets labeled as a harlot, burned alive, everything, like suffering, like baby orphan. It's crazy. And that's the other thing. Who baby is that? Is it Matt Damon baby? Or is it Kylo Ren baby? Who baby is that? I mean, it shows at the end of the movie that the husband dies, so I guess it doesn't really fucking matter. Honestly, this movie was really sad, but it was really good. It was like a good sad, but it was good. It was good to watch. Really good to watch. The acting, I'm honestly, the actors did it for me. They did it for me. Yeah. So, it was awesome. Peace out. Love you. See you on the next one.